So this was one of those episodes where I don't think anybody really wanted to see this content, but it wasn't a complete waste of time. Like, ideally, I don't think anybody wanted to break away from the Netero versus Metal M fight. It was like, hell's fucking yeah, we're there. Even the intro, and to a certain degree, you could kind of feel like, holy fuck, did Madhouse pull an April Fool's joke on us? It's like, yeah, that's totally gonna happen. And then a totally Ikalgo episode. And while I've said it many times, I'm not the biggest fan of Ikalgo, I think what this episode did, it needed to do that in order to resolve a couple of issues and also pretty much push forward some of these characters. Now, a big portion of the episode, I will say, was like, because it was pretty much Ikalgo with the gun to Welfin, like, yo, get these shits out of my head, and blowing up his head, going down. But in order for the character Welfin to reach any resolution with who he wants to be, because if you remember, you've seen him many different times, and in all honesty, this felt a lot deeper than meets the eye. If you don't really catch it, I'll explain it to you. Pretty much, the character has been confused. He's constantly asking questions. What is my purpose? Like, he was looking for an answer. And he reached it with this episode, and it took a lot of that discussion, because a character like Welfin is like, I don't know where I want to go. I need to keep continuing to ask these questions. And him remembering Jaido, his brother, or, you know, not blood brother or whatnot, but remembering his younger brother Jaido kind of started making him see where he wanted to go. And finding out that he's pretty much a ant reincarnation of that particular NGL member or whatnot gave a little bit of a connection as well, because the NGL was like, in the beginning of the arc, we got it. It was like, here you go. And it went into the back burner. We never really heard much more of it since, like, you know, the beginning of the arc, and now it kind of connecting it adds a little bit of more relevancy, because I've always been wondering what happened to some of those NGL characters. So I feel one of the best things that this episode did was it resolved this character. So while it's not the biggest thing, and again, ideally, I don't think any of us was like, oh, please give me that Welfin and Ikalgo, especially Ikalgo. None of us were like that, but it did serve a purpose, and it ultimately did something very deep for the character Welfin. It gave him a resolution. He reached that pretty much. He just doesn't want to deal with any of this bullshit anymore. He just wants to see his brother. He wants to get back some of those fond times and whatnot. Just overall, I guess, be more peaceful in a sense. And just telling the truth felt good. And for the most part, he's always been lying, constantly lying. And actually telling the truth made him reach a resolution. So while some of it felt a bit like annoying, like Ikalgo's blowing up like a balloon a million times with the gun or whatever, it served a purpose. And it pushed forward that he had to reach this in this manner. Because a character like Welfin is hard-headed. He's not going to just completely listen. He had to go through some of this stuff and get pushed to the brink where he's like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die if I don't, you know, just do these things. And then it made him feel like, you know what, I want to tell the truth. And that's what the good that it did. It felt a bit wasteful just constantly seeing that throughout the episode, so I will say that it wasn't complete like, oh my god, it did it in the perfect manner, because definitely seeing Ikalgo blowing up like a balloon over watching Netero and Meruem is not what you want to see, especially in the middle of that. So it takes it out of the element, and it's like, it did good, but then at the same time, it's like, what the fuck? Pretty hilarious how Ikalgo went from sobbing there, like, oh, I can't do this to Bravada, to like, he was just like, yo, dog, I pop a cap in your ass right now. So to see the character man up, I guess, in a sense, it was good, because we just seen him in this terrible, at the lowest of low moments in his life, where he's just crying, he couldn't do it, he kind of feels as though he failed the mission, to now he manned up, and he was like, yo, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna shoot you, I'm gonna kill you, I don't care. And in a sense, it kind of makes you look at, does that ruin what the character just previously did, where he couldn't kill a comrade? Or was it that he wasn't really close enough with Welfin, and he realized that Welfin, at that time, he couldn't really establish who Welfin is, so he looked at him as like, this is a major threat, in a sense that he can kill me right now and continue on in his path, so I need to stop this now. With Bravada, did any of us really look at Bravada as a giant threat? Let's be real here. It's like a lobster shooting. So he probably didn't look at Bravada as much as like that. And as well, he was comrades with him. Well, Welfin, he is a fishy dude. So in a sense, he had to man up for this one. But at the same time, does it take away from the fact that he was like, I can't kill anybody, when he was ready to pop a cap in Welfin's ass? Makes you question. And then the ending added something very important as well, because we've been wondering, where is Palm? And we finally get the answer, even though it was kind of already foreshadowed a couple episodes ago, that she's in that cocoon, and at the end of the episode, she was reborn as seemingly an ant, because she had like scales on her arm or something like that. I don't even know what's going to happen with that. That shit right there, that was some great setup for what's to come, and I believe in the preview as well, we're going to get more of that. And I'm just overall excited to see what the hell's going to happen. I'm a little scared as well, because in a sense, if you always looked at Palm, she was a crazy, creepy girl, and now she's going to be an ant, so she's going to be even more crazy and just possibly really evil now. Maybe she'll go and seek revenge for Gon for never giving her that pipe. And with her character design, it kind of reminded me of Frieza from Dragon Ball Z. She had like that purple gem on her forehead, similar to Frieza. So I'm just curious to see what's going to be with this character. Good setup at the end. Overall, it was some good, very good character development for Welfin and even Ikalgo to a certain extent, but it's not the most meaningful character, so it's not like it plays a giant part, but it did solve a problem with some characters that we had along the way. So in a sense, it did do a good thing, but it did take a long time, and overall, it just threw us out of the mode of what we were going with this episode of just seeing like, you know, we had Netero and Meruem in the first 2 minutes teasing that they're about to go down, and then it just completely cuts away to Ikalgo, and it was like, April Fools, motherfuckers. So I'm gonna give this one 7 out of 10. Good episode. Definitely did some good things for these characters, and set up finally seeing Palm, that she's pretty much an ant reincarnation, what it seemed basically. But as a whole, it was kind of like, yeah, you took us out of the mode, and also it was a lot of the episode dealing with just Ikalgo blowing up with his head with these animal things in his head, these centipedes or whatever. So definitely it was some good and some bad to the episode. But overall, it was a good episode for what it achieved. I just wish that we didn't have this episode right now. This episode should have took place like 10 episodes ago or 20 episodes ago before a lot of the good stuff happened, because it's kind of like sandwiching in some of these side characters in the middle of a very intense and important part of the arc. But let me know what you think. First of all, Welfin's change. Do you feel as though it felt natural and organic, or did it feel forced? I felt as though the reason why the episode had to take this long and all these questions and answers had to go through was because he was such a hard-headed character, and it took that much of a force to get him to finally come to his resolution with what he wants to do in life and come to that understanding of who he wants to be. And overall, did you feel April Fool the fact that it was teased Netero and Meruem, but instead we got Ikalgo? Let me know in the comment section below and your overall thoughts of this episode. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up if you can't wait to see what the hell Palm is going to do. Is she going to come back with the same memories? Is she going to come back evil? Is she going to help the humans go against them? I'm just like excited to see what the hell's going to happen with Palm, even though it's like in the middle of Netero and Meruem. But if it's Palm, which I've been waiting to see, I guess I'm okay with it for right now. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.